Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to American food the rest of the world finds weird. And yeah, if I reacted to this video when I started doing these American type reactions, I probably would have thought, damn, these foods are weird. But now I've sort of watched videos, I've seen how it looks and like the combinations and stuff. Foods like, I mean, you've got like what, fried chicken with maple syrup and like waffles or pancakes or whatever for breakfast, that kind of stuff. Or sweet potato pie or cake or whatever. These are foods that beforehand, if I heard there was a such thing as a sweet potato pudding, sweet potato pie that you'd have after eating food, and it was it was your dessert, I would have been like, what the fuck? When I first heard about it, I was like, my head was gone. But the more I thought about it, I love sweet potato. It's sweet, and you could probably just mix it up with a few things, and it would probably taste really good. You got like pumpkin pie and carrot cake and stuff. So, and I like carrot cake, to be fair, even though carrot cake isn't like the full thing. It's like sort of just slices of carrot and stuff. But I like carrot cake. I've never tried pumpkin cake or whatever it's called. But yeah, we're gonna check this out and see. Maybe there are some foods that I've never actually seen before, or if I have seen all of them, I can see if I would actually like to have them or not. But you've got weird foods around the world. I mean, the UK, where do we start? Beans on toast is probably considered weird around everywhere other than the UK or just England. But yeah, we're going to check this out. Links are in the description to my Patreon if you want to see some more of my reactions. But let's see some American foods that the world finds weird.
Did you ever have that one friend in school who liked to experiment by mixing different foods together during lunch? That friend who mixed ketchup with mustard in the same dish with hot sauce, baked
Nasty, man.
beans, and sloppy joes, simply because he found it funny? If you did, you probably dared him to eat it afterward, right? In all likelihood, he probably just stuck his tongue out at you and refused unless you offered him $5 to go through with it. Different combinations of food that don't make sense when put together often seem weird or gross to us. And what is construed as being gross differs across societies and around the world. What we think is delicious or disgusting is often subjective and depends largely on our culture, along with where and how we grew up. Every culture has their fair share of idiosyncrasies. This is especially true when it comes to food. Some examples of delicacies around the world include frog legs and escargot in France.
I've never tried frog legs. Never tried snails. I don't know what this is. But I would know. I don't care. I've heard people say frog legs taste like chicken, or snails taste good if you got a bit of garlic. I don't care. I'm not trying. Especially, I mean, frog legs, no thank you. But snails, oh my god, man. I literally cringe at the idea of eating a snail. I've not watched Harry Potter, but actually I've watched this film. The one where, who's the ginger guy? He gets like the slugs put in his mouth. And I just always think about that now. And it makes me gag. Just, bro, I've got to say I would never go anywhere near snails. I don't care if you've mixed it with the nicest things. No thank you, man.
France, which consists of snails on a platter. In Japan, you can enjoy some delicious wasp crackers and fish eyeballs.
Wasp crackers? What is it? I mean, there's probably some nutritious benefits to that, but no thank you. Or eyeballs. Lovely.
Crackers and fish eyeballs. In Scotland, you can have your try at the popular dish known as haggis, which is basically a sheep's heart, liver, and lungs mixed with onions, oatmeal, and suet cooked inside the animal's stomach.
No thank you.
You can eat kangaroo if you visit Australia.
I mean, that's just the meat, though. I don't know what it would taste like, but that's just the meat. I mean, it's probably quite a tough meat, because they're muscly as hell, so I bet it's been hard to eat.
People in Thailand eat grasshoppers seasoned with salt and pepper, tastes like popcorn. And let's not forget about China, where you can eat anything from duck's feet, scorpion, starfish, to even dog or cat.
Yeah, they have some mad combinations.
There are many more examples of unique foods around the world, but you get the idea. Most of what we've listed would be considered weird for most Americans. But what about American foods that gross out the rest of the world? Believe it or not, bread is one of the items that Americans eat, which grosses out the rest of the world. Whether you buy a loaf of bread for sandwiches or buy buns for hamburgers and hot dogs, many cultures don't often turn to this item as a first choice. Yet Americans love their bread. In the southeastern United States, there's a breakfast food known as biscuits and gravy, which is based.
Seen that recently. I want to try it one day. But bread, I mean, I've had bagels this morning, which is pretty much bread. I mean, I have bread pretty much every morning. And I feel like most places do.
Basically that, biscuits covered in gravy. Here with the infographic show, we've employed many people from all over the world, including the southern United States. One of our fun, eccentric writers for the team, who came up with an outlandish idea for a flavored pillowcase, is from the state of South Carolina and swears by this meal, explaining that there's nothing she loves more than going to Waffle House and ordering herself some biscuits and gravy. She'll even eat it for dinner on occasion. She says the gravy makes the biscuits soft and moist, which makes it good to eat. She even adds butter to her biscuits despite the gravy already being on it. This combination perplexes a lot of people throughout the rest of the country and around the world. Gravy, for most people, is probably best served as a dinner topping, not a breakfast one. Another peculiar southern dish mixing a typical dinner item with a breakfast one includes chicken and waffles.
This is what I was talking about, but I would like this, man. I mean, I wouldn't be able to eat this often, but I think this would be... I like a bit of sweet and salted together. Some salty chicken with some waffles and you got a bit of syrup. I think that would go hard.
Carolinian says that if you visit the South and don't order this, you're missing out. It's considered almost a rite of passage for every true Southerner. Sure, it may sound gross at first, she says, but once you try it, y'all will wonder.
It doesn't even sound that gross, to be honest. It's a weird combination, but it doesn't sound gross. Like you see it and you can kind of understand, okay, this could work. It's weird. It is a bit weird, but it doesn't sound like a gross combo to me. Maybe because I like the idea. I like chicken, I like waffles, and yeah.
Why you never thought of it before. If you like chicken and you like waffles, eating them together just makes sense. It satisfies your craving for both dinner and breakfast on a single platter, which is just bliss. She claims she's not the only one, and pretty much everyone she knows in her region loves the stuff. The main problem with this dish, however, is having to make the choice of whether to use the gravy or syrup as your topping. Either one is a possibility, but it's probably safe to assume that most people around the world, and even in other parts of the United States, prefer keeping these two meals separate. Next, corn dogs. If you've ever been to a state...
I've never had a corn dog. Aren't these like the things you can get a lot? Usually you have them outside like stadiums and you'll get them before you go into the stadium and stuff. Never tried one. I don't even really know what they are. I think it's just like... Is it just this corn mixed with like sausage, I guess?
State fair in the United States, odds are you've purchased one or two of these. For observers in most other countries, the concept of a deep-fried hot dog on a stick would sound pretty weird and perhaps even gross. We admit that saying what it is out loud does sound a little disgusting. Yet many Americans go crazy for a good corn dog. A food that confounds a lot of people is grits. Even the name doesn't sound all that appetizing. If you don't know what grits are...
Is it like the one I saw in the video yesterday with the porridgey kind of thing with cheese?
You're not alone. It's essentially a corn-based porridge made of coarse cornmeal. Once again, this is mainly a southern dish, so we consulted our favorite southern writer who says that she's grown up eating the stuff. She claims that if you live in the South and have never tried grits, people look at you with surprise on their faces. She loves to eat grits as a side with her breakfast, and a popular dish in her area includes shrimp and grits. She says it's not as gross as it sounds, but it may be an acquired taste for those who just aren't used to it. Given her affinity for these foods, one can't help but wonder how she managed to avoid obesity. Nevertheless, people from other places around the world would probably think the texture of grits is too odd for consumption. Okay, we think we've picked on our southern dweller enough for now, so we'll redirect our attention to a dish served on the opposite end of the country, in the southwestern side of the United States. That is, southern fried rattlesnake.
That's not real. I don't believe that. Who eats rattlesnake? Why? I don't believe that. Like, that is less believable than eating shit on a plate. I mean, maybe it's the way I'm seeing it as well. Obviously, this is just a full snake. But what can a snake even taste like? That is nasty, man.
Yeah, you heard that right. It's said to taste like frog's legs. The meat is often boiled off the bones before dipping in an egg yolk covered in salt, flour, and breadcrumbs. It's a deep-fried meal that grosses out a lot of people who aren't used to it. A more widespread delicacy around the United States is the Hershey's chocolate bar.
I mean, that's not really a weird one, it's just a chocolate bar.
To many Americans, Hershey's chocolate tastes incredible, and odds are that if you have a girlfriend, she's probably sent you out on an errand or two to pick up some for her at some point. People from outside...
I don't really like Hershey's. It's sold in the UK, but I don't really buy chocolate bars. I do like chocolate, but I don't buy chocolate bars. But Hershey's, I mean, it's just chocolate. I just stuck with the dairy milk, but I mean, it's alright. I mean, it's just chocolate.
Outside the United States, however, surprisingly report the brand as pretty poor excuse for chocolate. They complain that it has a tangy flavor and that it's too sweet. Nevertheless, many Americans continue to love it, and we don't think this will change anytime soon. Our next dish on this list is meatloaf. It may seem
Never known what's in meatloaf, so this is actually going to be good to know. I always hear it, but I've never known what's actually in it. Obviously, it's meat, but I don't know what.
unsurprising for those of us who were forced to eat it as kids whenever we paid a visit to Grandma's house. Like grits, the name in itself does not sound too appealing. You may have a friend or family member who manages to make a delicious version of the stuff, but for many of us, the 3 words, "eat your meatloaf," grinds our ears. A popular sandwich in America
Doesn't say what's inside it. For God's sake. Is this peanut butter jelly? I love peanut butter jelly. I've not had it in a long time, but when I tried it, oh my God, it was good. I like jam or jelly or whatever, and I love peanut butter, so it was a good combo, man.
that's considered really weird across other countries is that of peanut butter and jelly. Many people in the United States grew up eating this as children, and some of us still enjoy consuming it as adults, especially when we don't feel like cooking. It's a very simple meal. You just take 2 slices of bread, slap some peanut butter on one and jelly on the other, and then crush the 2 pieces together into a delicious sandwich. For people in other countries, however, the combination of peanut butter and jelly seems nasty. They complain that the flavors should not mix together, and many are even more unimpressed with the choice of white bread that most Americans choose. Yet it continues to be a common childhood favorite. So what else is common in America but weird everywhere else? Believe it or not, Pop-Tarts
Not a fan. I do not like Pop-Tarts.
make the list. It's another one of those quick meals that many Americans love. All you have to do is take it out of the package, pop it in the toaster, and it's ready to eat. People in other countries, however, view this popular snack to being so sweet that it's sickening. The crust tastes almost like cardboard to them, and the sugar and frosting go way overboard for their taste buds to handle. We'll go ahead and wrap up our list with root beer and sweet potato casserole.
I've seen sweet potato casserole in a recent reaction. It looks nice, to be fair. It looks really good, and it wasn't sweet potato casserole actually. It was a different casserole, similar, but I guess it's the same. I've never tried root beer. I had a friend who loved root beer, and like after school he would always get it because it's not actually alcoholic, is it? Unless he just got the alcohol-free one or something. But we were like 15 at the time, so I don't know how he would have got it. But it's not got alcohol, so I'm pretty sure anyway. In the UK it doesn't, but I don't know. But he loved it, but I've never tried it.
Other people around the world complain that root beer tastes too much like a bizarre combination of licorice and wintergreen, though it's actually made from the bark of the sassafras tree. Also perplexing to people around the world is that many Americans enjoy root beer floats, a combination of the drink with vanilla ice cream. For those who enjoy sweet potato casserole, you might be interested to learn that other cultures think it's revolting. People in other countries point out that sweet potatoes already taste sweet, so
Oh, it's the one with marshmallow on top.
why add more sugar to them and cover them with marshmallows? Needless to say, it sounds pretty gross to those who are unfamiliar with it.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I forgot it was this one. The one with marshmallows on top. I mean, I'd be willing to try, but I'm not really a fan of marshmallows, to be honest.
Do you agree with our list?
About the root beer float, I've tried Coke floats before, so I guess it's kind of similar. Like Coke float is just the same, but just with Coca-Cola, but root beer floats could go well, but I don't know. I never had root beer, to be fair. I've lived in Asia and travelled around the world. Bread is a staple everywhere I've been. Yeah, bread is literally the most common food. It's like the cheapest food to make. Everyone eats it. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I love how they don't include Texas in grits, biscuits and gravy, chicken and waffles. I don't know. I'm Italian and the meatloaf is very popular and tastes amazing. What is inside meatloaf? So it's made of ground beef is often used for meatloaf, but some grocery stores sell meatloaf mix, a blend. Oh, so you can buy it. You can buy like a mix of it, and then it's like sort of pre-made, but then you have to put it together, I guess. A blend of the equal ratio ground beef, ground pork, and ground veal. The ground meat you choose is usually mixed with aromatics, onions, and sometimes garlic, and binders. What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. I'm going to search that after. Usually beaten eggs and milk-soaked breadcrumbs. It sounds good. I don't know what veal tastes like, but it sounds quite good. But let's just see. Binders. I don't know. Nothing's coming up. But yeah, meatloaf sounds like a thing that I could probably make at home. I don't know if you can get veal in the UK, to be fair, but it sounds alright. It's just meat, and I like meat. Probably high in protein. Well, it definitely is high in protein. So I mean, it could be an easy cheat meal to getting gains quicker. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction, and yeah, until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.